Welcome to the Happiness Matters podcast with me, your coach, Julia Seal, where we explore the puzzle of whole-being happiness as professional women in our midlife, how to coach ourselves and live into the best version of ourselves, resilient, creative, and thriving, no matter what. It's another first this week. It's your second corner puzzle piece on our brain management explorations of mindfulness and meditation. Welcome everyone. This is one of my favorite topics. In our last episode, we got started with the whole of Series 2, Brain Management, where we're learning how to manage our brains on purpose for our midlife happiness. And I introduced the first corner puzzle piece of our Midlife Happiness Puzzle, understanding our brain's design. We explored a key happiness skill, the ability to choose to react or respond to difficult people and situations and to our own negative emotions. And understanding our brain's design really helps us expand this choice. So how did you get on watching yourself through the day? Did you notice when you're responding and when you're reacting? It's quite insightful, isn't it, when you realize how much of your life is on automatic. Now this week, this is the second corner puzzle piece of brain management, meditation. Actually, it's mindfulness and resting meditation and insight meditation. It's a huge topic and such a delicious topic. I first came across meditation when I did a course called The Psychology of Happiness with a very special man who is both a forensic criminologist and a Buddhist. I have to say I was hooked from the very beginning. I could feel the benefits from my first attempt, and that was back in 2004, I think. So I've been meditating almost daily for about 17 years now. That's a long time. You're probably thinking I should be Buddha by now. Yeah. Not even close. And nowadays meditation is much more well known. I mean, mindfulness is almost a household word. I do remember the excitement when Time magazine issued its first mindfulness cover back in 2003. And then its first special edition in 2014. And now we have wonderful apps like Insight Timer and Headspace and Calm. We're going to have so much fun together exploring this corner puzzle piece. All the way from simple breathing practices and mindfulness to resting meditation, the cultivation of compassion and loving kindness, and the far deeper insight meditation. So much fun! Today I want to start with the easiest and most foundational of all practices when it comes to managing our brains with mindfulness and meditation. Ta-da-da-da! Breathing. I know, crazy. I mean, we all breathe. But yes, this simple, hardly noticed automatic behavior that we all have to do is the start of our journey to go from in midlife pain and confusion to our midlife resilience, creativity, thriving, happy no matter what. It's that easy. If you've been practicing coaching yourself using my previous episodes in Series 1, you might have an inkling of how we're going to get started. And this is also what we do when you sign me up as your coach. One of the very first things when you're coaching privately with me is to establish a sitting practice, a breathing practice, custom designed just for you. I have a free coaching tool that you can download from the website called 3 Long Strong Breaths. And actually there are 3 previous episodes where I've used the basics of this tool. So if you're interested, I'll put the links in the show notes for this episode, and everything's on the website Happiness-Matters.coach. Today uses this tool, but we're going to expand on it as a practice for you. then why we even want to do it, and what's actually happening in our brains when we do it, so that you can start using it right now, today, to support your self-coaching and most definitely increase your resilience, your creativity, and your thriving, your midlife whole-being happiness. And the best way to get started right now with meditation is right now, in this very moment of listening to me. So that's step one. Are you breathing? So crazy. So while you're listening to me talking, whether you're out walking the dog, washing the dishes, or commuting to work, if you're still even doing that in COVID times, start by turning your attention away from what else you're thinking about or whatever you're doing, just gently. It's like a tiny pivot in the moment, and turn towards my voice, focusing on what I'm saying. Now that you're here with me, bring your attention to your breathing. Just notice your breathing, and as I carry on talking, see if you can keep noticing how you're breathing. In and out. In and out. Guess what? You've just started to meditate. You're right here in the present moment. You're now mindful. And getting started is as simple as this, bringing your attention to your breath and noticing how you're breathing right now. You've also moved from automatic breathing to mindful breathing. Remember our last brain design episode, moving from automatic brain to conscious brain? You've just done it. This is the very first part of creating a sitting practice or a breathing practice for yourself, moving your breathing from out of mind automatic to conscious mindful. Now carry on. This is where the fun begins, because you'll notice how quickly you get distracted in an instant. Something might catch your eye. The dog barks, you're listening to me, but your mind wanders off. And very gently, once you notice your attention has gone somewhere else, focus in on your breath again. Notice when your attention moves away and when it comes back to your breath. This practice of noticing when your attention wanders and then focusing on your breath again is the core skill of mindfulness, the very basis of mindful meditation. So now you've noticed you're actually breathing. You might start noticing the quality of your breathing. Is it short and shallow or fast? Perhaps it's actually slowed down since we started. And there's no right or wrong at this stage of your breathing practice. The key is to notice it. Keep your breathing mindful and redirect your mind to your breath every time you find yourself distracted. If you can practice these first 3 steps as often as possible throughout your day, you'll be building an incredible brain management skill. But it's really not that easy to remember when you're going through your life every day. So here are a few tips to help yourself remember to do it. It's useful to actually choose times when you're going to take your breathing from automatic to conscious. And some ideas from my clients include when you're waiting at the traffic lights, or when you're walking the dog, washing the dishes, brushing your teeth or your hair, drinking your first cup of coffee, or standing in any queue. Choose one specific activity to hook this new breathing habit to start with, maybe 2 activities at most, that you do every day and create your breathing practice. If you have an Apple Watch, you might be familiar with the little app that comes with the watch called Breathe. If you do have it, you might want to activate it after this session. It's a very useful little addition to your life to remind you to breathe. We now go an extra step. So not just noticing our automatic breathing, but intentionally shifting how we're breathing, where we're expanding the simple noticing and starting to tap into the power of breathing, which we'll be really digging into in later episodes. I often call this tool the most simple gift I've discovered in my life. It's so simple, yet it's a gift so powerful that it can totally transform your life in the long run. I see the setting up, establishing, and long-term practice of a breathing habit like this as one of the secret ingredients of happiness. I discovered its power many years ago at the height of a very painful divorce, and have always appreciated it for the immediate relief it can give me whenever I'm not feeling okay in the moment. But it's been the years since then that have shown me how far a simple breathing practice can go in transmuting pain and tapping into a deep well of equanimity, peace, and ultimately joy. I'm so not joking when I say this is the single most important brain management skill to develop in cultivating your happiness. So the next step, and for the next series of steps, you can of course practice them wherever you are in your life, in traffic, in a queue, even in the middle of an argument if you can. But you might also want to carve out a tiny moment to sit down and do this. So you'd be taking this from a breathing practice that expands into every moment mindfulness to a sitting practice that expands into a deep meditation practice. Again, notice where you are right now, sitting, standing. Notice that you're listening to me again, and that you're breathing. Because, of course, your mind, since we last spoke, has wandered away from noticing your breath as I was talking, because that's what minds do. Nothing has gone wrong. You're completely normal. Take one deep and long breath. Here, do it with me now. In. Hold it for a short while, not until you're about to explode, and then breathe out evenly. Leave a tiny pause before you breathe in again, if you can, but not so much that you want to gulp oxygen. Take another breath in. Pause and out. Pause. It can be helpful in the beginning to count. So try breathing in for 3 counts, hold for 1, breathe out for 3 counts, hold for 1. It kind of helps you steady your breath, but it also gives your mind something to do. As your breath settles down, you can then lengthen each breath in from 3 counts to 5, maybe even 8, and the same for breathing out. Don't overdo it so that you're panting or gulping, and don't forget the little pause. You might even then want to try to extend the out breath by 1 or 2 counts, really emptying your lungs all the way at the bottom. And try to stay focused on my voice and on your breathing, while other thoughts, even emotions, which might have taken over already, and your breathing switching to automatic again, notice that and bring your attention to your breathing again. Take another breath in. That's 5, and pause, and out. And again. Now check in. How does that feel? What's going on in your breathing? What's going on in your mind? How does your body feel right now? Your heart rate, your stomach. Every time you become aware that you've stopped concentrating on these long, strong breaths, and that you followed a thought or dipped into an emotion, come back to noticing the in-breath, the pause, the out-breath, the pause. And we've done it. We've done 2 rounds of 3 long, strong breaths. See how simple it is. Can you keep doing this while we look at what's going on inside you and why this is a vital corner puzzle piece in your midlife jigsaw, the artwork of your life. When you coach with me, I record meditations especially for you, depending on what you need. This coaching tool, 3 long, strong breaths, is such a good place to start, so foundational to your midlife happiness. I've made the recording available to all my listeners. You can download it for free from the same place as the coaching tool's step-by-step written instructions from Happiness-Matters.coach under the fun and free section. Let's look now at the relevance of what I've been talking about why it works. So one of the very first steps in brain management is to calm down our brains so that we can start working with them on purpose and intentionally. Calm down our brains from stress, anxiety, spinning thoughts, or just a muddle of thoughts. Calm down. And we actually want to switch how our brains are running. How incredible is this? So firstly, to switch our brain wave pattern on purpose, to change our actual electrical brain waves. And I'll talk more about this in upcoming episodes. But with this tool, we can switch our brains from the beta waves when there's stress and tension, or the high beta, to the alpha brain waves of wakeful rest and the theta waves of relaxed attention. Then we can switch our brains from running on the fight or flight stress hormones of cortisol and adrenaline to running on the happy hormones and neurotransmitters of oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. 3 long, strong breaths is your starter magic tool to do this. This focusing on your breath, taking 3 long, strong breaths and doing this throughout your day, switches your brain waves, switches the chemicals being released into your body, stops the running thread of thoughts and emotions, and enables your brain to calm down. Then, as well as all of this, these physiological and biochemical changes, this coaching tool enables you to insert a gap, a pause, what I like to call the pause, and not as in menopause, but as in the little pause of happiness. This pause, this gap, and the moment of calm it brings to your brain creates just enough space in the midst of the stream of thoughts and emotions flooding through you for you to coach yourself. This space gives you the choice point between automatic reacting and skillful, mindful responding. It gives you the opportunity to switch from primitive, automatic, reactive brain. So remember the last episode where I talked about our primitive, automatic brain and our human, rational brain? Here's the tool to help you make the in-the-moment switch from primitive to human, from automatic to conscious, from reactive to responsive. Once you're at this choice point, this is where you can choose to operate more from your response position rather than your react stance. And you can now work with your brain on purpose and intentionally. You can work with your thoughts and emotionally, and ultimately the think, feel, act patterns that are running your life. And ultimately changing these on purpose to get the results we do want. So this simple breathing practice and the expanded sitting practice creates in us the beginning of a skill, a capacity to look at and transform our unhappiness, our emotional pain, even our physical pain. As I said, it's so powerful, it's almost magical. And it's been with you all this time in your breath. As an added bonus, if you're in the midst of hot flashes, this breathing can really help. It helps with your negative emotions around the flush, annoyance, desperation, frustration, resistance. But it's also working on your brain chemicals and on your physiology. So breathing through the hot flush can help. Give it a try. I love the thought of all these wonderful women lying in bed in the middle of the night, doing 3 long, strong breaths, and you're probably swearing at me because it's not working. But here's a radical idea. If you're having a lot of flushes, you could use the hot flush sensation as a meditation hook, a reminder to breathe, to become mindful, and to pay minute attention to your breath. And if you can do this in the middle of a hot flush, you'll you'll soon be on the way to absolute mastery of your mind and body. As I said, this tool is simple and powerful. It's easy to try it 1 or 2 times, but far less easy to build into an ongoing practice and using it to change your life. And the way to do this is to not wait until your brain is in full react mode and when something big and horrid happens. If your breathing habit and your ability to choose to go from reactive to responsive in an instant, if that skill's not well established, then it's going to be much more difficult to tap into its power when you need it most in the moment. Yes, so 3 long, strong breaths will help you immensely at any time, but you might want to consider creating this as an ongoing brain management habit, a mindfulness habit, a meditation starter. You could sign up to coach with me and start to build the 4 corner puzzle skills into your everyday life, setting them up, establishing them, cultivating them, and ultimately leveraging them in order to create the life you want in your midlife, a life of resilience, creativity, and thriving, your whole being happiness. And I have 2 options if you want to work one-on-one with me. My Midlife Relationship Reboot program over 6 weeks, and then Midlife Crafting over 108 days with me, where we dive deep into your life over 4 months, transforming difficulties, reinventing your midlife, and crafting your very own happiness jigsaw puzzle, the artwork of your life. So book a free meet and greet with me this week on the website Happiness-Matters.coach. Click on the yellow button at the top called Coach with Julia and book a session today. Now don't forget to download this 3 long strong breaths coaching tool, also from the website under the free and fun section, and the new meditation that I've created for you. Also on the website, you can download the high road, low road coaching tool to help you work with your brain in reactive or responsive. And don't forget to sign up to my next free Happiness Habit Challenge that includes a webinar with me to go through exactly what we're talking about on the podcast these days. And you can do this by signing up to my coaching notes, also on the website under the subscribe button. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to the 2nd corner puzzle piece of brain management. And as a reminder, we've got 4 aspects of brain management, the 4 corners of our happiness puzzle, the pieces that hold it all together. So these 4 are brain design, meditation, body as brain, and thinking patterns. And you can always go back to the first episode of Series 2, the overview, to find out how these all hang together. But remember, you're never lost. Each podcast episode is designed for you to get started right now with practicing coaching yourself and crafting your midlife happiness. I do hope that you'll give this self-coaching tool a try this week. Mindful breathing, a breathing practice, a sitting practice, really is the best gift you can give yourself in exploring and expanding your midlife happiness. It's your best starting point to skillfully and ultimately joyfully navigate the puzzle of your midlife transition. To grab this next phase as the best opportunity ever to create happiness for yourself, deep contentment inside, to fix and create relationships that feed you on every level of your being, and to pivot your work in the world so that you're spending your time, your precious human life, doing work that's meaningful, where you're making a meaningful contribution and living into your life with all the passion of your being. May you be happy. May you be free. There is no better time to coach together. Bye for now. Have fun breathing this week.
Thank you for joining us on this Happiness Matters podcast, coaching your whole-being happiness in midlife. To join Julia for more of her midlife conversations, subscribe for free to her coaching notes by email and to this podcast. Search for Happiness Matters in Midlife to find us in your favourite podcast player app. Once you're subscribed, both of these will be delivered to your device automatically. To find all of this, click the subscribe menu of our website, Happiness-Matters.coach. That's Happiness-Matters.coach. COACH. And thanks again for listening.